How can I become that better person each day? Or how can you become that better person each day? We're going to go through this today and some tips around how you can constantly improve yourself, but appreciate and like who you are and where you are now. Welcome back to my channel with me, Johnny Pardo, a self-esteem and confidence author, coach, YouTuber and podcaster, helping you to reduce insecurities, increase self-esteem and increase confidence. For me, I've always had this idea of improving myself constantly. And that's a good thing in a way, but in other areas, in other aspects, it was because I didn't feel I was good enough and just couldn't appreciate myself. So I just add more and more stress on myself. And if you know me or you've heard me talk about this before, I get a lot of mentors and coaches into my life. Sometimes free ones, sometimes ones I paid for or invested in myself, which is always a great idea. And that's why I became a coach myself. But I got a confidence coach and I wasn't really low on confidence by the time I got this confidence coach. I just wanted to get my confidence levels to even higher levels. So I started talking to my confidence coach, brilliant woman. I'd employ her all the time if I could. But she and I really came to a realization that I had this belief that I am not good enough. And it was genuinely there. Now I'm at a point where I love who I am, I appreciate who I am, but I'm always improving myself. But I'm improving myself out of love and respect for myself, and that I know I'm capable of developing myself and giving more and more to other people, providing as much value. Not out of a place of I'm not good enough, therefore I need to get better. So we really had that limiting belief and of I'm not good enough. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle with, particularly in today's age when we've got constant comparisons everywhere. You've only got to go on social media to see it. And when we start comparing ourselves to others, we don't feel so good. But we can still improve ourselves and like ourselves at the same time. So I want to go through some tips on how you can do that as well. These tips are going to be a combination of celebrating where you are now, but also how you can improve yourself little by little and grow yourself as an individual. So my first tip is celebrating your wins every single day. At the end of each day or the beginning of the day, start writing down or saying to yourself 3 things you've achieved, no matter how small they are. So if it's at the end of the day, say 3 things you've achieved. They don't have to be I've gone to space, I've ran a marathon, I've managed to gain a job promotion. They don't have to be massive things like that. It could be I went to the gym today, I went for a good workout, I had a really good conversation with a friend on the phone, I helped so-and-so, I gave a homeless person a quid, or anything like that. Just something you feel that could be good. And the more you practice this, the better you get at it. Now, some people think, I can't think of anything I've achieved today. Now, there's always something good. I mean, you got out of bed, you made breakfast, you might have looked after your kids if you've got kids, you might have just reached out to someone, you might have made contact. Just pick out these little things, and as you do that, you're going to build momentum. But celebrate these small wins every single day. And if it's at the beginning of the day you want to do this, just think back what you achieved the day before. But by doing this, this helps us to appreciate who we are now. And I'm constantly doing this, saying, Johnny, you've done that brilliantly. In fact, a good way to talk to yourself and how I do it is, I am great at doing this, I am great at doing that. And I keep telling myself, make sure you use the words I am as much as possible when you're celebrating your wins as well. The second point is actually very similar to what I was just talking about, and it's praise yourself regularly. So I talked about the small wins you've done, but praise yourself as well. So the small wins are things you might have achieved, whilst the praise is about talking about your character, talking about who you are, what kind of person you are, what you like about yourself. Now this might be even more or equally as challenging as the first one. Different people find different things. particularly if you're struggling on confidence and self-esteem and it's the beginning of your journey for you to actually go and try and improve it. So that's why I like to make it as simple as possible, because I needed that when I was really low on my self-esteem and confidence. But start to say the things you like about yourself, saying, I am magnificent, I'm amazing. I kind of went into it in the last point, but I am a really good people person. I'm a really good listener. I'm really athletic. I'm in really good shape. Just start saying small things, maybe just 2 or 3 a day to start off with, just small things. And I've asked people to do this exercise, or suggested people do this, obviously never forced anything on anyone. It's all about advice and people taking it on board. But I can't do things for other people. I can only advise them and influence and give my message. But people have tried some of this, and people at the beginning sometimes, when they're really low on self-esteem, they've said these things to themselves in the mirror, and while they've been trying to say something, they sort of cry because they really struggle to talk to themselves, but then they found they progressed and got a lot better. It's all about practice, but just think about how you can praise yourself every single day. My third point is about how you can set targets every day. So set yourself one thing you want to achieve in that day and make it a priority. Get it looked at early on. There's a great book, mixing up words then, great book called Eat Your Frog. I was skipping a little bit on my words there. I mixed up book and frog and made it bog. Very, very classy, Johnny. But anyway, there's a book on, Eat Your Frog by Brian Tracy. And anyway, this is about tackling things earlier on in your day, getting that hard thing you want to do tackled earlier on. So think about something really big that you want to achieve in a day. Oh, it doesn't even have to be really big. Think about the most important thing you want to achieve the next day, and then set your intentions to go and achieve it. Because if you keep doing that each day, you're going to get a lot done before the distractions of life come in. And a suggestion I want to give is stay away from your phone until you've achieved that thing. That can be another tip on top of this tip. Tip number 4 about improving yourself every day is surrounding yourself with the right people. Now, I've got lots of different friends, and I've had different friends over the years, different networks, and I've always worked on my social skills, and that's why they've improved. I've had struggles in my life, but in earlier ages, but I've always worked at it and found that area's grown in the last decade significantly, or even in the last 5 years, even more and more. In the last couple of years, I won't keep going. But anyway, when I associate myself with people who are very like-minded, or just ahead of me in where I want to get to, then I find my work rate, my attitude, how I feel about myself as a person increases significantly. If you're surrounding yourself with negative people, or people maybe not quite on your level, there's nothing wrong with them. They're them as individuals, and you can't change them. You can influence them, but you can. But they're not going to give you much opportunity to develop. And that's not being selfish, because when you develop yourself as a better person, you're going to be able to give to more people as a result. So think about how you can surround yourself with more uplifting people. Now, I'm in a couple of business groups, and I've got these people who've got such energy, drive, like, I've helped this person with this problem today. I've sent out my message today. I'm working hard on this. And I'm just like, I'm already a hard-working person, but that's just like giving me new ideas, keeping my momentum going. So think about the people you surround yourself with, because they're going to improve you as a person as well. And my final tip is making sure your routine supports your growth in terms of developing as a person. So what I mean by that, I did a previous videos on time management that check out if you haven't seen that one already, and time management and how it can link to how you feel about yourself. But make sure your routine compromises of things that are really going to support you. So if you've got a routine of rolling out of bed, going into your day job, coming home, watching Netflix, going to bed, absolutely fine, and I'm not going to argue if that's your routine. However, I would question if you wanted to become a best-selling author and you just said, I'm not going to put in any writing, I don't have time, or I don't have time means it's not a priority. If you say, I don't have time to write, I would question, why haven't you put that into your routine? or if you wanted to become a really fit, in shape athlete and you weren't putting gym into that routine, then I'd say, why aren't you putting it in? Oh, I don't have time, which means it's not a priority. I talked about that in the previous video on time management. It's what Gary Vee says, brilliant quote. So try saying, I'm too busy. Well, try translating I'm too busy into it's not a priority, and then see how you feel about things. Because there's always time for the most important things in your life. That's why really busy parents always make, who love their kids a lot, I always see them making time for their kids because it's a priority. Obviously got to go to work, but they still make time for their kids because it's a priority. And that's the same with anything. So make sure you look at your routine and how it can support your growth as a person, because there is always time for the most important things, and nobody, in my opinion, can say anything otherwise. My question for you today is, what kind of things do you do to grow yourself as a person every day? What kind of routine, structures, things do you have in place? Just drop a comment in the comments below. Okay, as we wrap up today's video, what I've talked about is becoming a better person is really appreciating who you are now, praising yourself and being grateful for where you are now, but you can improve it. You can improve yourself every day. You can improve yourself by looking at your routine, getting the right people around you, and looking at specific things you want to do in the day. But always appreciate who you are and you're on a journey. Don't focus on the outcome, enjoy the journey as you keep growing. If you really want to grow yourself in terms of your confidence, but you're finding it a real struggle in a certain area of your life, whatever that may be, then we can have one-to-one confidence coaching. Just ping me an email, coaching@johnnypardo.com, and we can have a chat and see how I might be able to help you. And remember, as always, improve your self-esteem, improve your life. And I'll speak to you in the next video.